The first chart is SoFi, and for folks who I think pretty much everybody knows, SoFi is a retail favorite. And how I'm looking at this is on the daily chart. Generally, I don't like to trade SoFi on a weekly basis, especially from a call options. So if you're using a cash secured put or a covered call, you really don't get much on the premium side. But if you're looking at midterm, or maybe 3 to 6 months out, you get decent premiums on that. So definitely not something that I would use as a weekly. Kind of aligning with how the price targets are for SoFi. Most of the price targets you will see are between the range of 7 and 7.5. I'll probably put those in the next week's chart as well from all the different analysts that we have. But what we are really seeing here is the accumulation zone. So if you like SoFi and you want to accumulate, at least from my perspective, I'm targeting anywhere between 518 and 624 is the accumulation zone. We saw the big drop in SoFi price at 424, but if we really go back, look at the chart from the previous years, previous few quarters, 424 was the bottom of the chart. Now, not necessarily saying it won't go down again, but it's really hugging above the 200-day moving average. And I do think that as the earnings will come in the next 2 weeks or so, we may see an upside considering SoFi also bought another company, and there'll be more news around it. And again, there is discussion around the student loan repayment. Now, that is the real revenue driver for SoFi, but we'll really see on the earnings. Nate, Sean, what are your thoughts on this?
So I see this one is kind of a retail-based stock, is that correct?
It's a favorite retail, yep.
Yeah, so that can quickly move in either direction. I think we've said it before in the Palantir, at least in my experience. So you can see these vicious moves. You can kind of see that in the kind of daily candles that you've got here back in February or this year, and then we've got the beginning of March as well. There's big kind of green and red candles that can move very quickly. That's all I've got to add really on this one, but just that's what I can see.
I've been interested in how it reacts around the banking earnings news because SoFi is become a bigger deal than a smaller regional bank, right? And so is it going to react more in line with the news of the big names like Bank of America, or is it going to react more strongly to any negative news that comes from regional banks, which I expect that we could hear some negative news out of the regionals. So I'm not sure. Have you seen that, Kaye, as far as how it reacts and with respect to news? I know it definitely took a hit with all the craziness a couple weeks ago.
That's a very good point because I think regional bank was never on anyone's radar until SVB and Signature Bank happened.
Right.
Because everybody was talking about how SoFi is the AWS of financial sector, and they were always comparing against your Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase. So it's the competitor of that, that level. It's going to be a very interesting week and couple more weeks to see how does the regional bank impact SoFi, and we'll get to see the trend. We have never seen that before.